Oof, as Jane Kelly would say, it's blowing a hoolie out there. It is absolutely windy as hell. However, the mountain have come over today and it is absolutely a golden orangey brown. It looks like a huge massive chocolate bar in the background. So I'm well happy about it now. It's my favorite time of year as well to see the backdrop. So I'll show you this now, and I'm just so lucky. I go on about it all the time, but I'm very grateful that my background isn't, you know, big massive skyscrapers, and I've got this lovely mountain behind me. So today we've got so much planned. I'm hoping to build a new bed. I want to show you a few things because I don't know what it is, maybe it's my old age, but I'm becoming a sentimental old fool, and I've been thinking about my grandfather a little bit more, and he passed away when he was 93, and that's a really good age, but he was one of the best gardeners I ever knew, and he had a homegrown garden, so he had the most beautiful roses there, and I wish I had more photographs to show you really. I'll try and dig some out, but he always had this bird table with 4 concrete, it was all made out of concrete, and it was 4 birds that were they fastened on top by some screws. I'm not sure where he got this from, but it was his pride and joy. I mean, he used to tell us off as a child, stop touching the birds on the top. They look like little robins. So I looked for something similar, and I actually have found something. It's not how it was, but it's perfect for what I need for the plot. And I know when I look at it, I think of my grandfather and his growing experience, and all the veg and stuff that he used to grow. So I'm going to put that out of the plot today, feed the birds. I brought a pile of bird feeds over because now's the time where the birds they're desperate for that extra bit of fat now to put on their bodies ready for winter. So we're going to do that. And also I want to try and mulch all the paths, sort it all out, and yeah, hopefully batten down the hatch a bit because the wind is a bit crazy, but we're going to get through it. I know it.
Lost my ways, no words to say. You're on my mind, and time flies by. I'm cutting down the wires, I'm feeling kinda tired. I think I lost myself, I think I lost it all. You know it's true, I've been thinking about you. You made me feel so safe right when you told me you were mine. But I'm too late, I can't undo my mistakes. The time's run out and I'm left standing wet here in the rain. The same cloud hanging over my head. God, I wish you were here to save me from myself.
So I've built the 2 beds in a different size. By using both packs, I managed to do one smaller one, which I'm going to show you in a later date why I've done that, and also a larger bed, which I think will be great for growing my potatoes in if I do some up here as well. We'll see, but I want to show you something. So while filling up this bed with old buckets, I thought all these buckets were empty, but I've got some beautiful Charlotte potatoes that I actually put in buckets in March, and look at them, they're perfect, and we're now in end of November, so that's my tea sorted. So something truly magical actually happened while I was actually setting up the beds. I used the bird bath that I bought to commemorate my grandfather, and actually I put it on the plot. I was going to put some screws in it, and as I came out the polytunnel, the sun came from the clouds behind and came through the trees, and this beautiful beam shone through straight onto the bird table, the bird bath. So I just thought that was a really nice sign that this is the right thing to do. But I was really shocked by it, and it really did actually touch me a little bit. So yeah, funny things, eh? So I'm not sure if you're aware, but on top of my Sunday video, I'm actually doing lives every Thursday now, all the way through November, December, January, possibly February, and we'll be talking about things all the way through these seasons, preparing you ready for spring. And at the end of it, you know, in January, I'm sure we'll be talking about tomatoes and things like that. So seasonal will be, you know, take a factor into it as well. But we've got some great guests coming up, Muddy Boots, Tony O'Neill. Jane Kelly's going to obviously be a regular. Will, Gemma, Freddie was on it last week. I'm sure you've just seen that now last Thursday. If you haven't, take a look at all the lives. There's loads of people coming up. I could sit here for ages and I'm quite shocked how many have said they want to come on the live. So stay tuned to them on a Thursday night, 7 p.m. on my channel. So I also pulled a carrot up when I was putting it all in here as well. So it looks like we've got a nice little selection of crops that I didn't even know I had. So that's always a bonus. But oh, it's weird how these shallots keep. Next year, I think I'm mainly going to be growing shallots because not only are they one beautiful, you know, baby potato, but they store so well. You know, when we're delving into nearly December now, and these have been in the ground, well, in buckets since March. So it's incredible, really, that there's no scab on them, there's nothing, there's no pests, nothing's bothered them. They're still shiny, beautiful potatoes. So the foxgloves that I actually sowed from seed are doing really, really well. They picked up a lot of growth. I put them outside just to get that extra water from the rain, and you cannot beat rainwater. But look at them, they're beautiful. I mean, if you've got pets coming into your garden, I wouldn't advise these, but these will look absolutely beautiful in spring and summer over by the pond area. So I'm really happy with these, and I probably will overwinter these in the polytunnel because normally when they're bigger, they're really frost hardy, but it's quite tender here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them in the polytunnel within the next week or two before the frosts, and they'll be nice and cozy in there for winter. So just like I did with all the others, I will give this a good top dressing of some good compost and cover this over cardboard, weight it down, and then it's good to go for spring. God, you cannot beat that, can you? Black, rich compost. The older you get, it's the little things in life like this that really do make you smile. Right, let's top up the bird feeders because they'll be really happy for those tomorrow morning. I know the sun's going down a bit, so I want to make sure I get all my jobs ticked off, but let's get that sorted.
I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back while I'm on a one-way track. Now I know what it means to grow.
So I'm going to have a little bit of issue really trying to fill this big bed. I'll place it down now. I'm going to have to dig out this area anyway because as you can see there's a bit of embankment. So that will be one of my next jobs. I'm running out of sunlight now, but I will carry on. I've got some of the paths I want to do here, but this bed going down here is going to take some filling. And if I'm going to do the job, I better do it well as well. So I'm going to make sure that I don't just throw anything into the beds because I'll end up having to dig it out anyway, or it'll also sacrifice some of the crops next year because they won't be getting the nutrients or the good compound that they need in the ground anyway. So I'm going to have a think about that one because I'm going to have to find something to fill that bed really well. And if it bows out on the sides, I've thought about that as well. I'm going to add a pole in that I've got that might fit that bed. So we'll have a look at that as well. But yeah, it's taking shape now. It's really taking shape. So since I've used all those 4 beds now, I think I'm going to buy another two. Another one to go here, like I mentioned. And I think I'll make one that's really long, that'll go all the way up here, up this area. And I think the idea of that is that it'll be quite a long bed that I can use the bean canes all the way through, and that can be my designated bean trench. Then I can fill it full of all my rotten veg through the winter, and then put compost on the top, and it should be good to go then for spring. So I think that's what I'll do here, having a nice long metal bed for all the beans. So I'm going to keep these two beds. Oh, saying that, I could take the 2 metal raised beds from up here and do that down there, and then now that could be a really good idea, that instead of me buying another 2 beds, I could take those 2 beds from there and then just put a massive long wooden bed there or something, and that could be my tulip bed. This is the problem that I have on this plot, is that I don't want it to be all, you know, all straight lines. I did have a few people comment saying, oh, Danny, I wouldn't have put that bed on that angle and stuff. And rightly so, your eye will say that. But once everything shoots up in the air and everything starts arcing and making height and things, you forget about the beds underneath. And I know what I'm doing. I actually know what I'm doing, so it'll all work out in the end, I promise you. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take those 2 beds from there and build what I need down there. So it's all metal raised beds down there, and then I'll build some wooden ones up here as well, because I've got plenty of things I need to use and recycle, because I don't want to keep buying all the time. I think that's what I'm going to do. So another job to add to the list. I still haven't overwintered this, so that needs to be on my list. I have just looked to see if I have any bubble wrap here. I don't, so I need to get some or check the shed at home. I know I've got some somewhere, and then I'll sort all that out, but that'll definitely have to be very, very soon. I'm losing light now, so let's get those jobs done quickly. I've also decided as well that I actually need a good day on the plot where there's no cameras, no distraction, and I just get through all those jobs, like getting rid of all the rubbish at the back, having a good tidy up without having to film everything. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I've got a few days coming up, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just plod on through and plough through and get a lot of the little minor jobs. And there is all those little nitty gritty jobs that need to be done, and they keep putting off because of these big ones. So I think that's what's coming up as well. And I've talked to a few people about this, and they just said, just get it done, just get those jobs done, and then you'll be thankful, because what's happening is things are being blown around the plot and stuff, and winter is definitely coming so fast this year. So yeah, that's my plan anyway. I've always got a plan. So I'm just going to tuck this bed in here now, because it's getting quite windy, and I want it to make sure that it stays for the next day I come here. So I think I'm just going to weight it down, and then it'll be good to go then for when I need to carry on with the next project. I don't want this to blow away and hit the polytunnel, so that's my worry a little bit. But yeah, we're getting there slowly. So I must be crazy, but I have got outside lighting, as you know, connected to my solar panel system. But I've got some shallots here, and on that one raised bed, I have got a gap there. And as much as I wanted to use these for pickled onions, I didn't get around to using them all this year. So some of them are really firm, and if they're nice and firm, I'm going to plant some out now on that area, use the outdoor lighting, even though it's quite dark out there. And that'll be another job ticked off, because it is on the job. I got plenty more space for other shallots, but let's get that done. I must be crazy. So I've got some shallots here, and all you literally do is just push them in the ground, halfway under, and give them a good bit of spacing, because they do split and take over this bed a little bit more than you'd think. So I think 2, 4, 6, I think 8 in here is perfect. I've done them in like a domino sort of effect. So I've got onions and garlic on this side, which will soon shoot up, and the shallots here. Another job done in the dark. So I think that's me done for the day. All the jobs been done. I'm Danny, and this is the Grapevine Garden.